Okay, so welcome everybody. Welcome to Hot Song Podcast. The theme for this evening is Who Are You? And who so I want to just ask a few questions first to all of you, and you don't need to answer, but I just want you to kind of just consider each one first. Consider each one of these questions, and then yeah, that's all you need to do is just to consider these without needing to answer in any way. So these questions, first of all, is who are you? So just allow that question to just sink in. It's not about getting an answer, it's just to feel into it. Who are you creating? Who and what are you forming moment to moment? Who is creating you right now? This very moment, who is creating you? Who is creating you right now? And how do we reinvent that?
Can I ask? Sorry, what was the last one?
The last one is who is creating you right now, and how do we reinvent that?
Thank you.
So what prompted me to ask these questions and to also want to explore more of the question of who are we right now is because um the idea of who we each are is not a very solid idea. Like even though I may feel like, okay, I'm Winnie, I am this person, I have this, I'm doing this, I'm living in this location, I'm having this for dinner, etc. and etc. So even though when I think about it, especially when I am with other people, in relationship with other people, it's like we don't seem to be shifting from moment to moment. However, that is simply that is just an illusion. The fact is we are not as solid as we think we are, meaning that, who I am is not as unchangeable. Sometimes we may feel that, a person is one way, just like, let's say, Sifu James. Some people, like, I've known Sifu James for a long time. And I think some of you kind of have known him for at least a couple of years now. So he may seem like the same Sifu James without too much shifting. However, that's actually not true. He actually has done a lot of work and has shifted himself a lot since when I first met him. So maybe he does not shift like every day or even every week. Maybe it seems like he's the same from day to day, from week to week. However, actually, that is not the case. Just want to give an example is if you're, let's say, if you are just standing near the bus stop and there's maybe a few other students there, few other younger people there, they may be just standing around and laughing, let's say, really enjoying themselves, laughing out loud. And it is a genuine and very hearty laugh. So unless you're in a very bad mood yourself, usually before long you would start to, even if you're not just laughing out loud with them, you would at least start to have a smile on your face. And then if they really laugh long enough, you may start to giggle a little bit with them as well. And if those people laughing are actually people that you know, you actually would become more susceptible to them as well. The more you know somebody and the easier it is for you to accept what they are doing and also imitate them as well. So if, let's say, your sisters is standing next to you and they started laughing and she started laughing, I'm quite sure that you would be giggling and before long also laughing with them, even though you may not know exactly what it is they are laughing at. But because of the familiarity and because of you're more susceptible to accept their um their laughter. So that's why it's actually much easier for you to laugh as well. That's one example. Another one is I think some of you may have heard that as well, is that, the our income is usually affected by the income of the 5 people that is closest to us, that we see most often. So the best way to predict your income is really to look around the people, like the 5 people that are closest to you, and take an average. That usually would be your income. Maybe not exactly to the penny, but at least that would be where the bracket is, like a ballpark figure would be. So that's why it is another example of how much we sync with the people around us. And this actually also is the truth for vibration or frequency. So your frequency is most likely to be closer to the average of the 5 people that are closest to you, that you have contact with most of the time, whether you like it or not. That is most likely the case. for most people. Why? Because we are programmable. Because whether we are aware of it or not, human beings are very programmable. That is by design. By design, we are very programmable. It's a good thing, but it's also a not so good thing as well, depending on how conscious we are about it. We are constantly, even at the after we are conceived, pretty much at the right after our own conception, like when we are still in our mother's tummy, right after we actually have been conceived by our parents, is that we start to take in programs from them. We start to take in data, information, codes from them. And it has been coming in since we were conceived, and whether and that is true for most people. And if the more unconscious we are, actually, the more susceptible we are. We accept these information, data, codes, and programs from the people around us. We accept it not just from the people that are talking to us that we are in contact with. Actually, energetically, we actually get these programs from, for example, if I live in Toronto, so I am actually also part of the energetic pool of people that are living in Toronto as well. And also, if let's say I'm Chinese, so I'm also accepting programs from people that are culturally Chinese as well. So energetically, I am getting all these data from them. That is until I become conscious of what's happening. So that's why it's very important to ask ourselves, who are we in this moment? And more importantly, ask the question is, who is creating me right now? Because the most, usually it is the most conscious person is the one that is controlling the creation process. If I am the most conscious person in my own life, then I'll be able to control what programs that I would be allowing to come in, what information am I allowing to come in. And whatever it is that I resist, that I don't want in my energy field, I would be able to consciously know that, okay, this piece of information I'm not agreeing with. And I would be able to look into it and figure out how come I'm resisting, and then be able to process all any I would say negative feelings that I may have about that information, and then be able to make a conscious choice to not allow that information or program to come in and affect me too much. So being conscious of who is creating our own reality is one of the ways, the best way to be in charge of who you are in every moment. So, any questions or comments so far before I continue on? Clear as mud? Okay, so I shall continue. So why is it important to be more conscious of who is creating us, who is controlling who we are being in each moment? Is because the frequency is changing, is shifting. And so we are moving into a very different kind of game, because we've been playing this game of life in Toronto, in Canada, in the universe for a while now, and this the frequency is shifting, and we're actually getting an upgrade. And so it's very important to mm, be more conscious, because right now the energy is a lot more supportive. So in the past, who we are creates our reality. And the so our reality has been, I would say, not quite under our own control for the longest time. However, because the energy has shifted, it's actually gotten to the point where we are capable, or at least we are, in theory, capable of getting back all that power to create our own reality as we see fit in this supportive energy. However, that only works if we are conscious of who we are and who is creating our reality from moment to moment. And when we pay more attention and be a lot more conscious of what we are doing from moment to moment, then we can be able to get back that ability to create our own reality. Because it's always is the case is that the most conscious person would be able to take control of the creation process. And so I actually just want to ask those questions again. So another time you all get to just hear these questions again and allow whatever it is that comes up to come up. So here are the questions again. Who are you? Who and what are you forming moment to moment? Who are you creating? Who is creating you right now? In this moment, in this very moment, who is creating you? Who is creating you right now? And how do we reinvent that? The second part of the questions are, am I ready to drop my story? Ask yourself right now, especially if you have a very powerful story that really affected you. And you may think that that event or story have created the person that you are today, whether it is positively or negatively. The question to ask yourself right now is, are you ready to drop your story? Are you ready to drop that story, disregard it, delete it, remove it from your energy field, in your history, in your data, and in your programs? We all have stories like, I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, or I'm not pretty enough, or some other forms of stories. I have no support. I am not important. Whatever those stories may be, whatever the events that may have happened in the past to allow you to adopt those stories, are you ready to drop that story? Are you ready to disregard it, delete it, remove it from your energy field, from your history, from being the reason that you're creating your reality in this moment? Your consciousness, your conscious evaluation of what is serving you in this moment or not, is what controls who is creating you from moment to moment. Self-mastery means to elevate yourself to be the highest authority in creating yourself. Let yourself be the most integral energy source, information source, authority source out there and inside as well. It doesn't mean that you have to know everything or be the best or be the most hardworking. It simply means you consciously choose what serves you the best from moment to moment. And simply means that you are willing to do whatever it takes to allow yourself to get ready to drop those stories. To disregard all those stories that does not serve you anymore. Remove it, delete it, disregard it. And not allow all those information that no longer serve you to take part in your own creation process. So just take a deep breath in and let it all go. And any questions, comments before we move on?
I have a comment and a question. Yeah, this is so powerful. At the same time, I mean, maybe I'm moving too fast. When you remove a story, don't you have to replace it with a good story?
You choose what stories that you want to leave behind and what stories that you want to let go of.
Okay. I'm talking about would that when you remove something, you create a vacuum, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So you want to fill it with something that you want.
You can
Yeah,
do that too. Yep.
yeah. Okay, thank you.
My question is, someone said that even if you're alone, you you are still going to be influenced by something, right? That would,
Even if you're alone, you're what?
even if you're alone, like nobody's around you, and there is still something in your head all the time, right?
Yep, there is. Because energetically, you're still connected to the, so it, even when you're alone, it depends on your thoughts. Are you, because I know I don't go out a lot, but I still am in touch with other people.
Right.
So, and also even when I'm not in touch with people, I may be, watching a video on YouTube, or I may be listening to somebody else talking. So it's like if I listen to, Sifu James exclusively, for example, that's even though Sifu James may not be, no, I may not be seeing him, every week, I'm still in touch with him. That's just an example. So let's say if you're not, let's say if I'm not seeing my mother every week, I still think of him. I mean, I still think of her. I still talk to her on the phone. So that is still in touch. So even when I'm alone, it's like energetically, I'm still connected. However, this is something that you need to be conscious of is, um, for example, even with Sifu James, I don't take whatever it is that he says at face value. I would just, listen to him and then see if it makes sense, see if it resonates with me. Sometimes what he says does not resonate. Then I would consciously, I would say, let go of the things that does not sit well with me, and I don't take it personally. So if what he says, maybe 80% is resonates, but 20% does not resonate, I don't take all of it. Like I would just only take what resonate with me and let the rest go.
Mhm.
Because not everyone is 100% perfect. We're human beings. There are things that we um haven't got 100% right yet. So that is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. So then, like even like Manon says, even if you remove something, it's still always going to be something replacing. Because we have so many thoughts in our head, right? At any given time. It's not just one story, there are lots of stories. What exactly are you saying we need to change?
I don't quite get it. We have what?
We have lots of stories in our head.
Mm-hmm.
So how do we know what to remove? Like you said, sometimes you can pinpoint it that, yeah, somebody says something that does not resonate with you, and you want to discard that.
Okay.
There might be so many other things which we haven't consciously thought about.
Okay. So, for example, I just want to give an example.
Love to-
Um, I won't name names, but I was talking to somebody, and and the person was mentioning that, the person was mentioning that, oh, yes, I know that, so the conversation was this person recognized that she was trying to um be a good daughter. So to her, being a good daughter means that she has to, call her parents every now and then so try to take them out for dinner and do things for them, that kind of stuff.
Mm,
But because she is away from them, she's not in proximity to them. So
mm,
she couldn't actually do those things. So she felt guilty.
right.
And then so she was mentioning that, yeah, she's feeling guilty and blah blah blah, all that. And then at the same moment, like the person also mentioned, oh, I know that this is just a program because, um, guilt is not a good emotion to indulge in. But she was saying that, but then that's just a cultural programming that, you have to like a good daughter or a good son is supposed to do that. So that's a conflict.
Mm,
So what I did was I just mentioned to her is that, you know that this is program, but you're still using that in order to justify feeling guilty.
mm,
So I'm letting her know that, there's a conflict in her. So one is she knows that, guilt is not an emotion to indulge in, but then she kind of justifies her own indulgence in feeling guilty because she wants to be a good daughter, but she cannot be because of the circumstances. So that is a pretty messed up story.
right.
If you know that it's a program and you know that, guilt is not a pleasant emotion, why is she still hanging on to it? Why is she giving herself reasons to hang on to the guilt? So then she is actually allowing that program to still be in her field. So it is, I let her know that, this is the conflict. And, either way, it's fine with me because that's her life, it's her game. So it's not my game. But I just want to let her know that this is what I can see and leave it up to her to deal with it however she sees fit. But I think you get what I'm saying is that
Yeah.
if you're not aware that, if you're not aware, then there's nothing you can do because you're unconscious. But if you're conscious, then you need to really look at your own, what comes up in your own energy field, in your own mind, and sort out what it is that you want to leave in and what it is that you want to let go. There's no right or wrong. Everybody has to make their own choice consciously. So
Right.
it's about consciousness. It's not about culturally we are doing this, so there's nothing I can do because, the culture is like that. What can we do? No, we can do something about it.
Yeah,
Culture
true.
is not above consciousness. It's the other way around. It's consciousness that actually creates culture. Does that explain it better?
That last sentence, whether consciousness creates culture, how's that?
Hmm.
Or because we are thinking in that tone, that we have to follow that culture.
Who says that we have to follow culture?
Yeah, but
Nobody.
that's what, no, yeah, but that's what you're thinking. But then how is it consciousness creates cultures?
Yeah. So culture is what it is that we um agree on. So the culture, let's say Maoan culture, the Chinese culture is the way it is right now because everyone um agree that that's the case.
Right.
However, we are the only one that can consciously shift that.
Uh, yeah. But sometimes we want to do something like I was reading a book on the Russian politics, and all along there was a bit of curiosity that makes me want to go on, and then yet I have to time to time remind myself that that is not going to affect me in my daily life. Like I just want to information sometimes to know that that is out there,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't have to accept it or do anything about it. It's there. I don't have to have any emotions. I don't have to make it personal, right? And then I was justifying it,
It's
saying that
I think
hey, give
it's a
me,
choice.
yeah,
You can like it everyone has to choose. So let's say you see something that is not right or that you don't agree with.
yeah,
Um, so you can choose to do nothing or you can choose to do something.
okay. So when you say you do nothing, is that not like letting it go? Because we are making the choice to do something or not do something, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't want to do something, you you want to
And
just ignore it.
so
You
what
want
do
to,
you mean by letting go?
so you're letting go that story that you have to do something. Actually, it's like letting it be. You know it's out there. Like today, there
But
was a
so
thing
the
crash in India.
so
Yeah,
letting go, there are levels of letting go. For example, letting go, the most powerful way to let go is actually to get to neutral.
Yeah, how to do that?
So, so it really depends on whether you're neutral about something. If you are not neutral, then you're not letting go. You just don't look at that for now. Because we all have limited time. We only have 24 hours a day. So the amount of things that we can do something about is limited. So you have to consider what letting go actually means for you. Does it mean that you don't think that it is important enough for you to do something? Or because you have no, or because you get to so neutral that you don't need to do anything about it.
Or you feel like you have no idea how to do anything. What's that?
It could be maybe you don't know what you can do. However, if you don't know what to do, you can always just ask. Just go within and ask for guidance. What can you do about it? And see what shows up. Does that help?
It helps if it's a small thing, but if it's like the world situation and all that, we hear about things, but we can't always be doing something about it. By me making the choice that I maybe don't want to do anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's the underlying thing, right? When you really face it.
So I am under the impression that, like, and that's just me, that's just for me, is if I don't know about it,
Okay.
then I'm off the hook. I don't have to do anything about it. But once I know something about it, then it is up to me to do something. The something does not have to be a big gesture. I don't have to solve the whole problem, but I still have to do something energetically. There's something that is as simple as just tuning in to say that, you don't choose to see that kind of event to happen in your reality anymore. And to ask the people that still want to indulge in that kind of experience to to have it somewhere else.
Yeah. Sometimes when you're out with somebody and they want to bring up the topic of politics, I basically just try to tune it out. I don't participate. It goes in my ear because you can't help listening to it. But I just don't comment or don't say.
Well, depending on what is comfortable for you, you can
Yeah.
say you can not comment. I mean, you can just not comment and just or maybe change the subject, or you may go right ahead and say, I don't agree with blah blah blah. And then is it okay with if we don't talk about it? Something like that.
Yeah,
So
but
it really depends on what your comfort level is. For some
when
friends, like it may be possible to, agree to disagree.
Yeah, if it's like one-on-one, I can do that. But if it's in a group and people are talking about it, I just go inside and think my own thoughts. Or,
Yep,
or
you
another
can.
way is like if I see like the pain of the people who are dying or being hurt, I just send a thought of prayer and if they can somehow find peace. Like even today, there was a plane crash in India, and out of 200 and some people, there was one who survived. So I wrote to somebody, I said, yeah, it did happen, but the miracle is that that one person survived. So I'm trying to get them to think there is a good side also. And they can focus on that one person to heal,
Mm-hmm.
right? That
Yeah.
was my way of looking at it.
Mm-hmm.
Even about the Palestine situation, I just listen to it, but then because it comes in my face, I don't go searching for it. So this also somebody sent me a news thing that it happened. Yeah, so being from that country, it was slightly interesting for me. Once I knew what happened, then you can't do anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
You just look for the one good thing that came out of it.
I didn't quite catch what you're saying.
I'm saying like you look for what is the good thing that comes out of everything. Like something that you can accept to yourself. Because like there is no actual good or bad. But you can draw people's attention to the good side. Like you told your friend, that is just a program and it's up to her to let it go or continue feeling guilt. Like,
Mm-hmm.
so we can, in a way, you did do something about her issue.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Okay. I'm just trying to justify myself too.
And that's why a lot of the times when I'm in a group and they started talking about things that have no interest to, I would say, put my 2 cents in, I go to the washroom, I go take a walk.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Okay. Let's go on. Thank you.
Mhm. Any other questions, comments? Okay. Um, so I actually just want to, for the theme for tonight, I just want to um give you all these questions and to kind of remind all of you to be more conscious of everything that's happening. Be more conscious of your own creation. To really start asking yourself more often. So, who is creating your reality right now? And to just ask yourself these questions often enough. What are you creating from moment to moment? And then when you ask yourself these questions, to kind of stop yourself in the track often enough, it will start to allow you to be more conscious, to make conscious choice so that you don't just allow all these programming to come in and take up real estate in your mind, because that is really what's going on when you see television, when you go out. Everyone is trying to recruit you to agree with them. and that's everyone, whether they are conscious or not. So so you are the one that is really responsible for creating your own reality. And yeah, that's about all I want to remind all of you to do this evening. And so for the rest of the evening, what I want to do is actually just do the meditation and take you all up into the void state again. Because in the void state, that's when the energy is most supportive, when everything, all your stories, whether it is something that is an idea or whether it has manifested in physical symptoms, all of those would be in the void state. It would get back into being a wave form, meaning that it's not solid anymore. So that's the void state is really the best state for you to let go. So that is the meditation for this evening.